guys. Hi. What's up? How are we? Hello and welcome to the 130 episode of PodGis. Wait a minute. What is it? Huh? Which one and why and how? Which one is this? Hang on a second. Go. Maybe should have checked before I started. Don't care. It's currently, oh, Rebecca Black. Good for her. Almost a million views on Rebecca Black video. Oh, okay. What is this? Episode 138. Hi, and welcome to episode 138 of Podgus with your host, Ava Val. Did you expect anyone else? What? Are you surprised that it's me? Are you fucking surprised that it's Ava Val here on Podgus? Um, Not gonna lie. Check it out. It is currently, as of this recording, Tuesday night, Wednesday morning at 12:30 a.m. It is headache time for me, guess. Headache time. Uh-oh. Check the watch. Check your watch. Check the clocks. It's headache o'clock. I got a headache. And I was going to record this episode, but I got a headache. And I was like, maybe it'll go away. And I sat on the couch and scrolled on my phone and didn't drink any water, which surely would help with a headache. And headache. I just barked that one out. And lo and behold, silly me, it never cured anything. But maybe it could also be because I just feel so much pressure in my fucking head from vocal training and from trying so hard. And that's how it feels right now for me, trying so hard. I'm not going to talk about vocal training for this entire episode. I'm that's it. That's it. That's it. That's the last time you're going to hear me fucking talk about it. This might be a short one. We'll check in with each other. We'll check in with each other periodically. But until then, I got a headache. Let me drink the water I was supposed to drink earlier. I spent the day out and about. Out and about. If you're American, can you hear the Canadian in my voice? Out and about. I was out and about today. And I didn't take my vitamins. Look at these fucking vitamins on my desk. That's the sound of health. Vitamin C and omega-3 and biotin, which I was hoping would give me more hair. But it has not. But also I should probably cut my dead ends or whatever they're called. Split ends? Split ends. That's what they're called. I should be cutting my split ends. Because apparently that's what makes healthy hair, and I haven't done that. Haven't even bothered. Who knows? Hey, in your life, what are the things that you're doing that are that you're delaying for short-term gratification or for short-term reasons when it could be a terrible thing in the long run? Think about it, but don't think about it too much. You might get a little headache there. How are we doing? Let me check in on you guys. How was your week? How was did you do good? Did you spend at least 8 hours in your week praising the Lord Jesus, our Lord and Savior? That's right. I'm religious now. Welcome to episode PodGis 138, the religious episode. I'm religious now. Yep. I went to the ROM today, the Royal Ontario Museum in Toronto. And if you live in an urban area, if you live in a city, a prominent city, such as Toronto, if I may. Um, one of the world's cities, one of the world. It's a city in the world, and it's one of them. It counts. If you live in a city and you haven't been, and like there are, I'm sure some of you listeners would know exactly immediately your example in your head as soon as I bring it up. What is the place in your city that you have not been to in forever that you should be at? You know what I mean? Everybody who has lived in a city for long enough and they're like, "Oh, you know, I've lived in New York for X amount of times and I still haven't seen a fucking Yankees game." Or like, "And I still ain't been to the fucking Empire State Building." That's how New Yorkers talk. Did you know that burping mid-sentence, mid-word, was invented by a New Yorker? Uh-huh. Man, I've been living in New York for 12 years and I still ain't burped in the middle of a sentence. What the fuck is going on? I can't even fucking call myself a true New Yorker. Um, I went to the Royal Ontario Museum, and it's one of those things where I was talking with somebody about that, and it comes up, and you're like, I've lived in this city for X amount of years, and I still haven't gone to this famous thing. And not to say that like it's been a decade since I've been to the ROM, and there's so much to do with the ROM at all times, but it's true that you can only go to a museum for a certain amount of time before your brain just starts getting overclogged with overstimulated, overclogged with new information. And while it's fascinating, and it really you want to, I'm the kind of person who wants to soak it up. So I want to go to the coolest thing first, just so I can catch it while my enthusiasm is fresh, while my mind is most elastic and receptive, and I'm engaged and I'm excited to be there. So I want to go to the best exhibit first, so that I can primacy recency effect kind of thing, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, primacy recency effect is in a sequence of things, any in a sequence of events or stimuli, you will remember the stuff that's closest to the beginning, and the stuff that's closest to the end, with exception, of course, to like whatever outliers or memorable stuff that broke the pattern or whatever, primacy at the beginning, recency. So I will always want to do at a museum of any kind, and I love museums. Every city that I tour in that is new to me, I want to I love museums, art museums, history museums. Some more than others. I love a nature museum. I love dinosaurs. Dinosaurs are never not fascinating, and bones. Bones are really cool. My bones. That's a little Easter egg for all the Avaville fans out there. For all the Avaville fans out there, that's a little Easter egg nugget for you guys. Uh, Please email me where you think the reference came from, and first 5 entrants get a bright yellow no name lighter. I'm gonna write my name on it in permanent marker. I'm gonna write my Instagram handle, so you know that it's me. I just wiped my hand on this and I got soot all over it. That's what I deserve for such a shitty bit. So, we went to the ROM, myself and a gentleman suitor. Emphasis on the gentleman, nice guy, great, good time. Won't reveal more than that, because my personal life is none of your beeswax. I've said too much. But we went to the ROM, and we didn't realize this until towards the end. But well, no, I mean, we realized this pretty quickly, actually. That's a lie. Um, Remember when I said we realized it later? I lied. And that's a podcast reference. Um, uh, we realized that it's the dinosaur section of the ROM was under construction. So we didn't get to see all the stuff that we wanted to, you know? And even though we did see a lot of dinosaur stuff and read a lot of dinosaur stuff, and I like to read when I go to the museums, I don't want to feel like I'm missing out, especially at the beginning. So whenever they have like written stuff beside the exhibit, the bones or whatever, I want to make sure that I don't just like skim over stuff, you know? I like to read the stuff. Even if you do the thing where you read and your brain is elsewhere and you're not registering, I still there's a feeling in me that needs to read the thing anyways, just to say that I did it, just to make sure I didn't miss anything in the room before we move on to the next thing. So, uh we saw some bones, some fossils, some dinosaur fossils, and some of these some of these displays had a diagram at the foot of the dinosaur that it had like the a diagram of the dinosaur bones, the full exhibit, and they colored in uh different sections of this diagram depending on whether the bones were a missing. The diagram, it would be white. The inside of the bones would be white. It would be blue for like replica, and then orange for real, for like these are the real fossils that they recovered. And a few of the dinosaur exhibits were like all orange, and it was just really cool. You're like, wow, how are they, what a marvel that they put this whole thing together, that they discovered it and put it all together. But then some of them were all blue, and at that point it was like, what? Okay, I mean, what's the point? There's a part of you that's like, okay, if you recovered like half a dinosaur and the other half is missing, I completely understand the reasoning behind, filling in the blanks with the other half of the dinosaur. Absolutely. Go to town. But it's like a Theseus's ship kind of thing. If it's all fake, then why am I looking at this thing? You're just kind of flexing your pottery expert. Now you're just like hiring a pottery guy or whatever they're made of. I don't know. You couldn't touch them. Are they paper mache? Who knows? You're like, what? There's a part of me that's like, oh, good. Why should I care? Why should I care about this ankylosaurus who's all fake? You're a fraud. You're a fraud, ankylosaur. Now this funky galacticosaurus, now this is the real deal. It was so cool. And one of the exhibits, they had a little screen and you could play like short minute long videos. And one of the videos was a time lapse of them putting together the one of the I call them all brontosauri because it's my favorite dinosaur, the brontosaurus. That's my favorite from Land Before Time. Gentle giant. I love a gentle giant in the dinosaur world and in life and in a mate. I love that's this for all the listeners out there. I love a gentle giant. Somebody who's so big and you're like, you could crush if you want to. You got power, but you don't abuse it. You use it responsibly. You know? And that applies to a brontosaurus who just is also a herbivore, so it doesn't eat meat. Not that I eat meat. It's so hypocritical of me. But if I dated a brontosaur, then I wouldn't eat meat. I would change for him or her. I would change for the brontosaur, and I would be a herbivore full time. Yes, I would. The only thing stopping me from being a responsible vegetarian is a partner who will hold me accountable to it. Someone else. I need someone else to inspire me, keep me honest about not eating meat. Boy, how flimsy my principles are. I even tried doing like meatless Mondays, and that lasted all of 2 weeks. 2 Mondays, and then the following Monday, I didn't prepare properly. I didn't have anything besides like a chicken breast. I was like, well, that's the only source of protein I got. I'm going for it. Oh, I should have did it in the middle of the sentence. I'm really, truly not a true New Yorker. I burped in between sentences there. Not a New Yorker, I am. Not. Not. Somebody hit me with a knot online last week, and it was just like, oh, hot burn. You really got me there. Somebody was like, yeah, it's classic. Something that was like, this video is really funny. ... Not. It was like, wow, that really that would have been devastating about 30 years ago when I could barely count to 9. Yeah. Oh, that would have really rocked my socks. But unfortunately, you're 30 years too late with that one. Mm. Was I mid sentence about something? Oh, they showed a time lapse. That's right. Oh, mm, 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 mm. Gotta fend off this headache somehow. Okay. They showed a time lapse of them building a brontosaur type, a long neck herbivore of the long neck herbivore family. And it was really cool. I mean, there were windows in the background, and unless they fucked with the unless they fucked with the time lapse of whatever, I kept track of how many days it took, and it only took 3 days for them to like set up this whole thing. And it really is a marvel just how they do that shit. It's so cool. Truly fascinating. If you want to see what I'm talking about, I'm sure it's readily available. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. Look, okay. Dinosaur Museum. Oh, there's probably a good one in Alberta. That's where all the dinosaurs come from. Dinosaur Museum fossil time lapse. Like National Museum of National Museum of Natural History fossil hall time lapse. Would they have like the ROM? Dinosaur Museum fossil time lapse ROM build time lapse building the largest dinosaur in Canada. This was the one. Futalognkosaurus. Futalognkosaurus. GNK together. Come on. Why would you do that to us? Futalognkosaurus. 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 Futalognosaurus. Pronunciation. I'm gonna get this right. Futalognkosaurus. 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 And lognko means chief. Giant chief. Futa means giant. for those of you who are into futa porn. I thought that meant like anime porn. But if you're into futa, I guess that means giant. Maybe that makes sense. People are into futa porn. That's like big, big titties. Big anime titties. Futalogoncosaurus. Futalogoncosaurus. I'm having so much fun with this Futalogoncosaurus. Which is, like, if you look at the picture, it's a brontosaur. It's a brontosaurus. Pretty much. Long neck. Except his neck is, like, way thicker at the base. Way thicker than a brontosaurus at the base. It's got a thicker neck in general. It looks like, to me. And then there's Brachiosaurus, which is similar, but it looks more upright and just cuter. Cuter neck. This girl's got a cuter neck. Sorry, Futalogoncosaurus. Plus, I hate your name, Futalogoncosaurus. Anyways, there is a video. I found a video, time-lapse, building the largest dinosaur in Canada. Only just under 700 views. 11 years ago. And I saw the same Futalogoncosaurus as this. This is a different time-lapse they're showing. Wow. So this may have been a different amount of days. But the one that I saw, the video that I saw, was like 3 days. Because you could see through the window. Because you can't see in the window in this one. But you can see out the window like day to night and night to day. Oh, this was a different dinosaur. Different long-necked dinosaur. The ROM is so cool. They have so many dinosaurs. But anyways, oh my god, 10 minutes ago I wanted to make this point and I forgot. But, look at them go. Look at them go. But the dinosaur that I saw the video of and looked at, I saw the Futalogoncosaurus, and then we went upstairs and it was a different long neck. It wasn't a brontosaurus, but whatever. It was another version, a different name, other than Brachiosaurus, Futalogoncosaurus, Brontosaurus. Let's look at all the. Okay, no, stay on track, but also, Algus, stay on Amagus. Come on. But here's the disappointing thing. Here's the point. The dinosaur exhibit was only like half, or only even like a fraction. It was only a fraction of its power. It was only a fraction of its power. There was only, I swear to God, like half of the dinosaurs, because you went through a sauropod. That's the type of dinosaur it is. A sauropod is a long neck dinosaur. I love them. I love them. Sauropod. I'm just going to use that in replace of every specific version of the dinosaur. Sauropod. Yay! I love them. Look at them. Look at all the Google images. They're so cute. And look at the little baby with his nubby legs and his big long neck. I love them. Sauropod. Cretaceous sauropod. Brachiosaurus. Okay. I'm so sorry, you guys. I'm so sorry. I said this would be a short one, and lo and behold, I'm like 30 minutes into explaining one fucking point. And the point was, they were renovating the dinosaur section. And so like half of them, we went through the whole exhibit, and there was an exhibit of like early organisms and species, and so cool, like alien, really truly the kind of stuff that you would see in sci-fi. Face sucker alien tentacle types, really gross, and all kinds of creepy crawlies and little oogly booglies and boogery ones and jelly ones, and the first form of life was a cabbage. I think I got that wrong. I think I misinterpreted, but it said that like the earliest fossils that they found was a they said it technically isn't fauna, it or it technically isn't flora. It was a creature of some kind that they couldn't categorize as a plant. Like the first, no, because the first organisms and animals would be like bacteria and shit like that. So I know I have this wrong, but excuse me. Um, one of one of the fossils was of a cabbage, some kind of cabbage animal, some kind of cabbage monster. And I don't care if I have the specifics right or wrong. I'm gonna start telling people that the first ever organism in the world was a cabbage. So, gonna hey, if all of Twitter can spread misinformation, then let me have one thing. Let me have this one. This isn't hurting anybody. If entire elections and entire hostilities towards entire communities of people like the trans community perhaps, if we can use misinformation to spread lies about an entire group of people that they're a bunch of sexual predators changing genders to be in the washroom, then surely I'm allowed to have one white lie about the first organism ever being a cabbage. That's not hurting nobody. Kingdoms aren't being made or lost because of my little cabbage lie. It's just a little cabbage lie. Let me have my cabbage lie. I want. Let a girl have her cabbage lie. I'm gonna let you sit on that. I'm gonna let you sit with that. Let me have my cabbage lie. And I'm gonna have a sip of this fresh bottle of water. Look at that frost on there. Gotta love a good frost. Anyways, we got through the exhibits. Someday I might finish this point. We got through all the exhibits. And finally they were like, they had signs that were like, you want to see the T-Rex? And we got to the end and it was like, there's the T-Rex over there. And we walked into this big room that felt crowded because half of it was kind of obscured and blocked off. And then the rest of it was packed together with fossils, with like full displays of all these different dinosaurs. But the platforms that they were on were all packed together and their exhibits were all like, it was kind of like a storage area for these fossils. And all they had was a small little makeshift rudimentary little walkway that didn't even go deep into the room. It just went a little bit in, and so you had to look past all these what would have been sick exhibits, all kinds of cool ones, like a giant fucking moose deer looking thing, and a woolly mammoth was one of them, hiding in betwixt, and all kinds of cool fossils, full dinosaur displays and stuff, saber-tooth tigers and shit. But you had to look way beyond and through to like see some of them, and the smaller ones, forget about it. Forget about it. Couldn't even see the small ones because they were all scatterbrained all around the room. And lo and behold, all these signs that were like, this way to the T-Rex. And then you get to the walkway, and it's like, oh, there it is over there. There's the T-Rex. Just a big sign that was like, T-Rex. There it is. And it's at the fucking back of this room, stored away in the corner, this poor guy. The ultimate alpha species of all time, the king of the dinosaurs, the king of all life on earth forever and ever. Sorry, Jesus Christ. But if you went toe to toe with a T-Rex, I know who I'd put my money on. This ain't no Jake Paul, Mike Tyson fight. You're going down. And you could come back 3 days later, but the T-Rex is going to gobble you right up again. Okay? So, sorry, Jesus Christ, but T-Rex wins this time. The most fearsome predator of all time, number one reigning champion, never to be dethroned, the ultimate, the number one baby. And I know I'm saying all this, I know I'm blowing a lot of smoke, but sauropods are still my favorite. They're my favorite. They're the best. And whichever dinosaur you like, I hope I'm not influencing your opinion. You must like your chosen dinosaur. Your chosen dinosaur must speak to your heart and who you are as a person, and cherish your favorite dinosaur because that is yours, you know? Fuck a Horcrux. Fuck Harry Potter. Fuck all that shit. What is what is your favorite dinosaur? If you were to cast a bippity boppity boo spell and fuck a Horcrux, I want to know what your Horcruxosaurus is. That's what I want to know. You bippity boppity boo with your magical boo stickle, and what dinosaur is going to come out for me? It's a sauropod. It's a sauropod. It's probably a brontosaurus. Just give me a second while I look at pictures of it again. I'll tell you one thing, it's not going to be a Futalogancosaurus. Because I don't like that name. Oh, everything else about it is cool. Everything else about it is cool. Brachiosaurus can fucking rock a necklace or a tie for sure. Brontosaurus. Let's see. Oh, it's so beautiful. Brontosaurus. Oh, it's so big. Look at that one. Oh, I love them. Brontosaurus facts? Gonna save that for later. Yay! I'm gonna read that before I go to bed. Actually, that picture I don't like. That's an ugly one. Is that really what their heads looked like? What the hell? Every toy I've had, Apatosaurus. Apatosaurus is so cute. Like everything I've seen of a Brontosaurus is just the cutest face. And then this picture is just the ugliest Dorkosaurus. Looks more like a Bryantosaurus, you know? Just some guy named Brian. Talks too much at the water cooler. Oh god, here comes Brian to tell us about his fucking model train, new model train design that he got on the weekend. Here comes fucking Bryantosaurus about to ruin House of Dragons for us again this week. Yeah, we don't care, Bryantosaurus, that you have a VPN. We don't care. Stop ruining shows. Oh god, we're caught in the ring of Bryantosaurus. He won't leave us alone. Who is that? That's a cute one. That's a cute Brontosaurus. Why is this picture? I don't like that one. I don't like the Brontosaurus facts. Get a better. Here's a fact. Brontosauruses are cuter looking than the one on the cover of your book, asshole. That's a fact. The picture of this one, he's wearing roller skates. I'll golf. That gets a golf clap. I'm gonna give that one a golf clap. Prehistoric beast of the week. That's a Brontosaurus, baby. Oh, yeah. It's watermarked with 2012 the year. 2012. 1 week in 2012, Brontosaurus was the beast of the week. Oh, yeah. I'm having way too much fun. Way too much. But, so the point of this, wow, 35 minutes in, and this is all I have to show for it, this story. But all this to say, it was a little disappointing that we went through the entire exhibit and then got to the end, and the king of all kings was a safe distance, perhaps, if that was their intent, to be like, this is safe away from the apex predator of all Earth times. And yeah, I guess okay. But you know, it was crowded with dinosaurs all through the place. So it's like Thank you for sparing me. I mean, the T-Rex probably would have eaten the closest thing to him. Um, but but I'll tell you this: what ultimately saved my um overwhelming disappointment, what saved me from crippling disappointment, was the fact that even though it was like tucked way back in the corner, they still, whether by accident or on purpose, because if this is on purpose, it was very clever. They had floodlights pointing up at it, and it cast this really cool, ominous, huge shadow against the wall behind it, and just made it look bigger and more formidable. Even though had to look at it from a distance, it kind of saved the exhibit just through sheer imagination and lighting. So I will say, I mean, you will never catch me speaking ill of the ROM. Never, ever. It's the best. And if you are visiting Toronto, spare an afternoon. Go down there. It's great. It's fun. It's a museum. It's a great museum. A lot of dinosaur bones. Dinosaur exhibit. Hey, when that thing's done, I bet it's going to be one of the world's best. Yep. And I have been to a handful of museums, and it's going to be the best of the handful that I've been to. So I'm willing to go out on a limb and say it'll be one of the best dinosaur exhibits in the world, because Toronto is one of the world's cities. Ding! Ah, that is so frosty and refreshing. It is currently 1:03 a.m. I have an electrolysis appointment. Tomorrow I'm gonna get the shit burned off of my face. Yeehaw! I got to beat the cotton eye, Joe. I've been married a long time ago. Where did you come from? Where did you go? I will say this. I went on a date. It was a date with a guy, and this threw me. This threw me more than I wish it did. But even still, surely you can understand. Like when we walked in, uh, they escorted us to the box office to get tickets, and the guy said, "Is it credit or cash?" And I said, and in my best voice, not gonna talk about voice, but I'm just gonna say in my best voice. And I looked like this. I looked pretty. I looked really nice, and was dressed ultimately like femininely. You know, I wasn't there wearing a fucking Michael Vick jersey, but you know, I wasn't there wearing a fucking LeBron jersey. You know, I wasn't there wearing a fucking lumberjack red plaid jacket with mud all over my boots. I was dressed demure. I was dressed um cutesy, dare I say. And the guy was like, cash or credit? And I said, cash, please. Cause that's my life. Fuck yeah. Um and he gestured to the guy I was with, and he was like, okay, why don't you go along with, he was like, okay, you go over there, and pointed to me, and pointed to the counter, and then he was like, and he pointed to the guy, and was like, and you go along with this, and then took a long pause. And whenever that happens, people like me, trans people, trans women, trans men, non-binary folks, very familiar with when someone does the long pause, and you just know that they're doing the math. And here's the thing, is it bothers some people more than others. It it still bothers me. It still bothers me. And whereas in previous years, especially in the early stages of my transition, I would have been more understanding, and I would have been like, yeah, I get it. I am what I am. And you know what, to be fair, still to this day, whenever somebody misgenders me, I take it on the chin, but I also blame myself. And I'm like, ugh, yeah, I'm not performing femininity enough to make it easier on this person to do the math. And and this was another one of those cases where I was like, fuck, what more must I do? How much harder must I signal to you what gender I'm going for here? You know what I mean? Especially when I came in sounding like this. Yeah, I have cash, please. Thanks. Um, so, and to do that in front of somebody who I had just met in person for the first time, it like, took the wind a little out of my sails. And, when you're in that situation, you can't allow it to defeat you, because it's like we just said hello 2 seconds ago and we barely started talking to each other. So, obviously, I'm not going to let it ruin my experience. But for that to happen in front of somebody I just met is just like a, oh. Um, However, this was very refreshing, as he had no hangups, no qualms about me being trans. And I brought it up pretty late in our like texting conversation, and that was so refreshing to me, because I always I'm super upfront about it. I tell people right away. There's a literal fucking flag, the trans flag, beside my name on my dating profiles, just to make it abundantly clear, because I'll be honest, a lot of people, especially men, do not read your profile. And I could put it as the first thing and they still won't even know what I'm talking about, and I'll bring it up and they'll be like, "Oh, I didn't know that. Sorry, not interested." And then they'll fucking bounce. And it's like, okay, I that flag in my name has been learned from experience. It's like, I need to put it beside my fucking name, or it's still gonna get missed by some of these lunkheads. But anyways, this guy's a gentleman, nice guy, great guy. And it was very refreshing to me, even though I don't know if this is sad to admit, but it was very refreshing for him to be like, yeah, I don't have any experience with trans women, but I also do not care. And that is pretty rare to me, I would say, because usually, in my experience at least, guys will be like, hell yeah, that's all I want. I want peepees, I want girl dick all up in my face. I want girl dick in my mouth. I want girl dick in my hands. I want I want you to eat my asshole. And it's like, whoa, 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 whoa. I Thanks for reading the flag beside my name, but you should have read, I'm I'm not ready to eat ass on a first date. You know what I mean? Anyway, so he handled it really well. And yeah, but it's one of those things that if I think about it too much, I will certainly despair a little bit. There's like two sides to that reaction, one of which is me throwing my hands up in the air and being like, God, just fuck me, whatever. Yeah, bring it on. Just misgender me. I don't give a fuck. I'm over it. It's Go fuck yourself. God, I'm tired of this shit. And this exasperated so over it that I don't want to let it bother me. You know what I mean? Like, it's bothered me so much, so often, and for so long, that it's just like resignation is the word for it. Just like defeat and resignation, to be like, yeah, all right, fucking fine. Call me it. Call me a thing. I don't give a fuck at this point. But of course, there's also the other part that's like, what else must I do? How else must I signal to you, friend? Um, and maybe that's them being like respectful. They see, maybe their instinct is to want to say she, but they're like, well, I don't want to go the wrong way. I don't want to overcorrect. Uh, However, even as I'm saying that, I'm like, read the fucking room. Read what I'm fucking going for here, bud. So it must be my face. So getting facial surgery January 11th, maybe that'll fix that problem. That's not the only reason I'm doing it, but I will say I if I never have to experience that shit again, I will certainly not miss it at all. Cuz like and like look at my face in this. I mean, come on. What else must I do? What else must I do? Yeah, it's probably the last frontier is probably something like this. But we persevere. And in the end, as of last week, there's one less health insurance CEO. So cheers to that. We've done it, you guys. And you know, while on the one hand I do appreciate the internet's response to this CEO getting fucking murked, um, because the industry truly is broken and the wage gap that keeps fucking expanding with no people in power doing anything to slow it down or do anything to stop it. It's nice to have a victory for the little person. For us. That's nice, you know? And if you disagree with me, if you want to unfollow because of this opinion, be my guest. But I do think, based on what little I know about the French Revolution, is that every number of years, when the rich get too powerful and the poor become too powerless, a revolt is necessary to reset the fucking stakes, to reset the playing field. And I think things like these, you will never see me be an accomplice to violence. Wait, did I say that right? You'll never see me be violent myself, but you might see me in cases like these shrug my shoulders and not shed a tear. you know? And here's the thing is just like in the submarine, the what was that thing called? What was that submarine called that blew up? And that was like huge news. What was the submarine that blew up? What was the name of the submarine? Titan? It was Titan, wasn't it? The Titan, yeah. Um oh cool, I forgot that they found it. Imploded during the expedition. I forgot that they oh, it was off the coast of Newfoundland. I forgot that they found like half of it. They found the picture. Ooh, spooky. I thought it like completely dissolved and obliterated. I totally forgot about that. Wow. Spooky. It does give me chills. And for that time period that they were missing, and it was like the doomsday clock, they were like counting down to when their oxygen would run out. That freaked me out because it just triggered my I'm not even claustrophobic, but the idea of being trapped with and like knowing you're gonna die for that stretched out a time period in the ocean, completely alone, in a fucking tiny little box filled with 7 other smelly dudes, and the worst kind of dudes, like billionaires, the worst kinds of people. Um, yeah, it sends chills. The mortality of it really truly sends chills to my spine. And I don't think enough people spared a thought for the 19-year-old kid in that thing. Even though he was the son of a multi-billionaire, um I still think that, he was a kid and his only crime really was being born to an asshole. And so in cases like these with this healthcare CEO, I do mourn for like the kids in this instance because the children are always innocent. But it just, yeah. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I wonder what you guys think, but I can't help but spare a sad thought for the children because they don't have a hand in any of this. They don't have a fucking influence in any of this. They're not, take your kid to work day. They don't know any better. It's their dad. Of course, they're gonna come in and be like, "Yay, go dad!" Not knowing that he's responsible for the deaths of like millions of fucking people. And maybe if they are, maybe I'll feel a little bit less sympathy for them. So maybe they are standing at his desk being like, the dad's like, "What do you think I should do with this claim, son?" And he's like, "Thumbs down, deny." Is I can see take your kid to work. The dad just like the kid's sitting in a high chair on the end of his rich mahogany desk, and he just keeps sliding over. I'm sure he's not the one fucking looking at claims, but probably just for fun, he's like, "Hey son, do you want to do this? I grabbed a stack of claims from the claim department. Let's deny them." And he just like swipes sheets over to the son and with a big fucking rubber stamp, conk, just keeps hitting deny. He's like, "This is fun, daddy." Kid is just denying claims. In that specific example, I would feel less sympathetic to the kids that their dad is dead. But you know, this is only speculation. I don't know if that's what take your kid to work day. I don't know if that's how it works at United Health Care, United Care, United whatever the fuck. America, God bless you, but there is a lot that's busted about you. Freest country in the world, my ass. You're not free to break your leg. You're not free to heal. That's crazy. Freest country in the world, and healing isn't free. That's fucking nuts. This is the one thing, my American friends, if you'll indulge me, this is one thing that I don't understand about your culture, is why you guys are so tax phobic. You're so afraid to pitch in a little bit more on taxes. Don't touch my fucking dollar. Don't touch my, oh God, taxes. They're gonna raise taxes. And I get, trust me, as a Canadian, I know better than anybody what it's like to be taxed. Well, I'm in the lowest tax bracket, so there are people who know better than me. For sure. There are a lot of people who know better than me. but we get taxed pretty heavily here. But of course, the trade-off, and say what you will about government misspent money, but at least we get fucking healthcare here, and that is worth everybody pitching in a little bit more. And that's what will never understand about American culture is this. It's like baked into a lot of your it's baked into your culture, your cultural DNA to be like, my stuff, mine. Don't touch my stuff. Fuck you. I don't care what's wrong with you. I don't care if you need help. Mine. Don't touch my stuff. And it's like, if we all pitched in a little bit more, then maybe the brokest of us would be able to get fucking cancer treatments or whatever they need, Just saying. I think healthcare, uh, you know, America's the only fucking first world country without any form of like government socialized healthcare. It's wild. Maybe you guys should take a look at that. Maybe that's something to think about. Um, when you're the only country out of all the first world countries that is doing something, then maybe have a think on that. And if I'm preaching to the choir here, if I'm preaching to my American listeners who couldn't agree more with my position, I apologize if this is redundant or preachy, but I feel as if I'm preaching to you and you agree, then I have nothing but sympathy for you. That sucks that you live in a country that surrounded by people who aren't willing to pitch in a little bit more so that everyone can live freer, live freely. Your ideas of freedom are fucked, America. That's all I have to say. I think this idea of freedom, there's freedom of speech, of course, of course. That's one of your biggest things. But also, that's another thing entirely. I don't believe absolute free speech is healthy either. And this is where it gets a little murky, and I'm willing to debate with people on this. I think I might have a problematic view, not fascistic. No. But my argument certainly leaves room for exploitation of like some governing body like exploiting control over free speech. Anyways, I think we have it pretty good in Canada. Like people being like, "Oh, communist Canada." Listen, anytime I encounter somebody who dismisses Canada as a communist country, oh, fucking communist Canada, immediately every opinion of yours gets automatically thrown in the bin. You have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. Calling Canada a communist country is the dumbest shit. We are not, when the whole trucker convoy, when they're like, fucking communist, what is this, communist China? And it's like, smoke a blunt, blow blunt smoke into a police officer's face in the park and walk away and then come back to me. Look, there's a police officer over there. Blow giant Kush O-rings into his face and then come back to me and tell me we live in communist China. You know what I mean? Fuck off. And then if you get mad and you kick me in the chest, oh boo-hoo, I'm gonna go to the nearest hospital and get it treated. So don't tell me this is fucking communist China. Good lord, get a grip. The people who like who cry communism and also who cry socialism like it's automatic, like the amount of people who use the term socialism as this heinous evil, like Voldemort. People will be like, oh, socialism, whoa. And no one who uses that word can properly articulate what it is about socialism, or they can't even define it properly, because they'll just be like, socialism has never worked. And you're like, once again, every first world country besides America has socialized healthcare, has some form of socialized democracy. So get your heads out of your asses and maybe look outside of your own little bubble, and maybe you'll see how the rest of the world operates, and maybe you can take a lesson or two, because this is the thing. Did I just splash myself? I did. One thing that always confounds me is that um Norway, for example, is like the perennial number one year after year, year after year. It tops the happiness index, the global happiness index, and also I think the freedom one too. Um, top happiest country 2024. Finland ranked first. It's these what why am I blanking on what they're called? The Nordic, the Scandinavian countries are always up there. They're always top 4. Finland, Denmark, Sweden, Norway are always up there. The top 4 here, it says Finland, Denmark, Iceland, Sweden. And first of all, I don't know how they gather this information. If they just if this thing sends out a survey to every email they have on file ever in the world, and they're like, how happy are you, 1 to 10? And people in Norway like, oh, I love this emails, I love getting this emails every year. I'm so glad someone, maybe nobody in Norway ever gets emails, and so when they get that email, they're like, oh, it's my good friend checking back in on me again. Hello, I'm very happy to hear from you, of course. Thank you very much. I am 10 out of 10 happy to hear from you. Thank you for your email. Have a good day. So maybe that's why Norway wins all the time. Because no one's emailing them and they're just super happy to receive some correspondence from someone. Maybe email is a new thing in the Scandinavian countries, and they're just, gosh, so plumb grateful at this new technology. But that's so funny. I should write that down. That's really good. But and the Freedom Index. That was the other thing I wanted to look at. Freedom Index. Freest country. Switzerland. Followed by New Zealand. Followed by Canada's fifth, motherfuckers. Let's go. Let's fucking go. So anybody in the goddamn convoy who was like, what is this, communist China? We're under Trudeau, we're like communist China over here. And then when Americans get in on it, it's like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Oh yeah, what's it like over there in communist China? Motherfucker, we're freer than you assholes. Oh, my feelings are so hurt, I'm gonna go to the hospital to get them repaired. You know what I mean? Top 10 least free countries in the world. Iraq at the bottom. Saudi Arabia next. Somalia, Egypt, Venezuela, Iran, Myanmar, Sudan, Yemen, Syria. Oh no, Syria's the lowest. I read them in reverse order. Syria's the lowest. Although things are going to change after their revolution. But the Scandinavian countries always rank way up there. Top freest countries. Wait, why did it say Canada was 5th and in this list it's not? Human Freedom Score, 2023, 8.55. I guess it fell just out of the 10 on this page. But then when I go back... Oh, that's the AI overview. AI, you suck. You fucked that up. Although Switzerland, it's true. Iceland is ranked as the most peaceful country. Canada is it says Switzerland is ranked first. Yeah, it's due to our economy. Canada's economic freedom score is 72.4, so we're the 16th freest. Yeah, times are pretty tough out here. Economically, we struggling. I can't deny that. My money is worth shit all. We struggling. Can't deny that. But I would rather struggle a little financially rather than be bankrupt for my entire life because you know, I needed my appendix taken out. You know what I mean? I tore my ACL 3 goddamn times. And I had a meniscectomy. And all that shit was covered, baby. All of it was covered. And yes, and my dad taught me not to say it was free, because I used to say that it was free. And of course it's not free. It's paid by all of us. So technically it's not free. But sure felt free to me. Felt pretty liberated, that entire experience. Anywho, the Freedom Index. Top 10 freest countries in the world. And lo and behold, America did not place in the top 10. But neither did Canada, I see. Although 8.55 is just below. I can't see any of the other ones. But it's, oh, here they are. Canada ranked 13th. 14, 15, 16. US 17th. So you guys aren't like terrible, but you also aren't allowed to call yourselves the freest country in the world. Just saying. I'm sorry. I'm being critical of my American, and I hope this doesn't reflect on you. If you're an American listener, I really hope you're not taking it personally. If anything, I hope you are open-minded enough to hear what I'm saying and at least reflect on your American exceptionalism. Because speaking as somebody right next door to you, and I'm going to speak on behalf of the rest of the world, but Americans, you do live in this bubble where you don't really think beyond your country and you don't really self-reflect from the perspective of someone outside of your country. So, you guys need to revolt and shoot more CEOs and fucking turn that goddamn healthcare system around because it's broken. And look at look at what we got over here. You can fix this. You can do this, America. I believe in you. I believe in you. I don't I don't believe in all the gumption about you guys being the best country in the world. Sorry, no offense. The best country in the world clearly is Norway. It's not even Canada. I don't live in the best country in the world. Norwegians do. And so we at least let's agree on that at least. Um, or Swiss people do actually. Swiss people are the happiest people in the world. So happiness should trump everything else. Freedom be damned. Would you rather be free or happy? Oh, that's actually, you know what? Now that I've asked that, it makes me think. Now that I've asked that, it makes me think. Because if you're free, if you choose freedom over happiness, you're at least free to be miserable. It comes back to when I think about it, I think about pet ownership, dog ownership, and uh the idea, the question, the fundamental philosophy. I was gonna wrap this up, but now I've opened this can of worms. The idea of would you choose freedom over happiness or vice versa if you had to pick one or the other? I think about dog ownership and just how owning a dog is truly so rewarding. You're talking to a girl. I love dogs so much. They fill my heart with joy, and my social media feed is just all puppies all the time, and just cute doggies doing silly things, or just or loving up on their owners and cuddling and stuff. But right there, even in the language, they're owners. They are love slaves. Dogs are love slaves. We take them away from their parents. We chop off their fucking nuts. We completely control their access to sex and procreating and breeding. We control that. We control when they eat, sleep, when they shit, piss. We control everything. We make noises constantly like this. We are the loudest beings on the planet. So loud we can't even shut the fuck up. I'm here in my apartment alone and I'm still fucking talking. That is how incessant human beings are. But if a dog barks one time, once, you're like, well, just shut the fuck up and kick it out and throw it outside into the fucking doghouse. Like dogs are slaves, and they are only called upon for love and care and just to fill us with happiness, just to fulfill us with meaning and companionship and love. And this is such a cynical way of looking at dog ownership, and I recognize that, and it breaks my heart that I have these thoughts in my head. I would rather be rid of them. But but the dogs are happy. The dogs are so happy. Dogs are the happiest little creatures in the world. And is it better than the alternative of street dogs out there? I don't know. Ask the happiest street dog and let's compare. Because I bet times are tough out there. Bet times are tough if you're a street dog. I almost rest my case. I also stumbled upon something halfway through that tangent that I made a little note in my head. I was like, oh, where um it's just like the Matrix, red pill, blue pill. And even in my explanation where I was like, I wish I didn't have these thoughts about dog freedom and dog slavery in my head. I wish I didn't because and then it's like, would I rather live blissfully without the ability to think freely about these things? Or And the answer is yes. I don't want to think about this stuff. I don't want to think about dogs like that. It's just, it ruins my doggy experience. Oh, you know what I mean? Sometimes I think about like a hypothetical of it where I take us human beings and I switch us with dogs essentially. If there was an alien race that came down and enslaved humanity but didn't didn't necessarily do it violently or anything like that. Well, maybe they did just to like get us out of our own way. And they like and as in get us out of our own way, as in stop us from like fucking polluting the earth and killing each other and starting wars and fighting over resources like oil and shit. And this alien race came down and just fucking intervened on humanity and was just like just just like a parent just grabbed all of humanity by the scruff of its neck and was like, "All right, we're taking over." And through whatever uh, alien technology, they got us out of our own way and imprisoned us, and then turned us into like companion slaves, dogs. And they cut off our balls, which for somebody like me, wha- I wouldn't mind. So that's a bonus. Already scoring points for the alien team right now. But basically, if these aliens kept us as love companion slaves, I don't want to say love slaves because that sounds vaguely sexual. Now that humans are involved, companion slaves, and they cut off access to who we could fuck, or they controlled it entirely, and they did like eugenics or whatever the fuck, where they were like, so they looked at somebody like me and they're like, oh, I like the blue-eyed one, and then made me fuck another blue eyes, and then they cut off my balls. I mean, I'm so pumped full of estrogen and I have so little testosterone that joke's on them. I got a free lay. Ha ha. Thanks, aliens. That is if my dick would work. Well, maybe. I don't know. Did I say too much? Oh, geez. My dick works. I just haven't used it in a while. Which, how do I know if it works then? Oh, shit. um, oh my God. I've said too much. But basically, my point is, would you, in this case, um, would you be like pro alien if in this case our lives were like infinitely better? Let's say hypothetically we lived longer, we never had want of anything, we lived life in bliss. We didn't have to work a job, we didn't have to have jobs, and we got to like lounge around all day, and they took us out to go exercise. We would have fun exercising, we could socialize with other human beings, but not on our watch. It would be like they would tell us when. It's kind of like prison, but also they were really nice to us, and they made us feel really good. And let's say they had technology that made us like really warm up to them, and but also they took us away from our moms and dads when we were born. And like, would that be better if we lived in ultimate euphoric human bliss, and all we had to sacrifice was our every right? And also, like, healthcare we would be provided for and stuff. But then also, they would do the same thing to us that we do to dogs, where, like, if we turn, like, 95 years old and our hip broke, then they would be like, I can't afford to keep this human alive," and then they would just let us die. They they would also do that. So, yeah. Sometimes I think about that in my head. The alien scenario. We went a lot of places today. It's 1:40 a.m. I really should get to bed because I have to fucking convert this video and upload it and all this shit. And then tomorrow I get lasered on my face. And when I get lasered on my face, especially a 2 hour appointment, this is a 2 hour appointment on, oh boy, my face is gonna be red and angry. Like I'm just gonna have a beard of bees That's what they called the girl in high school who had unfortunate acne on her face. I didn't call her that. That was really mean, but it's one of those insults that you're like, wow, that is incredibly mean, but holy shit, that's a fantastic roast. That is such a good roast. Holy shit, beard of bees? Get the fuck out of here. So good, but so mean. But that's gonna be me tomorrow. And I, even though I didn't make up the insult, it feels kind of karmic for me to have beard of bees. It's like I heard that insult and I was complicit in it and I didn't do anything to intervene, and now I must suffer a beard of bees. So tomorrow I'm gonna get electrolysis. I'm gonna have beard of bees. And I'm gonna have a self-care day because it's really depressing. It's a terrible experience. It's so painful. I'm doing it for 2 fucking hours. God have mercy, Mother Mary and Joseph. Please look after me. Please let it go by quickly. And so tomorrow I'm gonna take it easy. And so I must go now. And if this isn't uploaded Wednesday morning, it will be uploaded Wednesday later when I am doing my self care, but also catching up on this with my beard of bees. So if you have a museum in your town, in your city, in your town, go to the museum. It's so fun. What are they there for? You know, go enjoy yourself and have a good time. Museums are great, and they expand your mind, but only primacy and recency effect. So they only expand your mind from the first thing and the last thing that you watch, and everything in between. Just embrace the fact that your brain is mush and you won't remember any of the meat in the sandwich. You know. So when you're walking around, maybe an hour into the museum, and you check your watch and you're like, okay, we're gonna leave in an hour, so this is all dead zone material here. Let's walk around because I'm not gonna remember this shit. Just remember to do that. Privacy recency effect. Don't remember anything in the middle. Always remember things at the beginning and the end. So thanks for listening to this podcast. I'm sure you forgot everything that I talked about in the middle section, but if there's anything you don't forget, it's sauropods, sauropods, and cabbages, and um what was one of the things that made me laugh so hard? Oh, take your kid to work day, uh, denying claims. None of this is primacy recency. This is just me exercising my brain. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. That's it. uh, Good job, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. This is Ava Val, and this was PodGis. Thank you all very much. I will. Oh, fuck! Before I go, Patreon will be up soon. I recorded an episode earlier this week. My first Patreon gis, PodGis. I'm gonna call it something else. It's gonna be called like Teatreon, I think, because I drank my tea and I spilled some tea. As in, I talked all about this one controversy that exploded across the Toronto comedy community about a decade ago, maybe less than a decade ago, and it involved feet, and it involved a comedian taking advantage of people like me for feet videos and stuff. It's a very crazy story that I'll tell you about, and also another story about the Kenan Thompson showcase, which was, in my opinion, exploitative. I don't want to call it a scam, but that another whole controversy involving not even Kenan Thompson, just a thing with his name on it. So Patreon coming up soon. Get excited for that. It's gonna be super fun. I'm so excited to have a space of exclusive stuff. Like, this is fun between us. And if you're an avid watcher and listener, and if you're a loyal listener, it's more podcasts essentially. Which, you're here, you like this. How could we go wrong? I've only put out an episode every 2 to 3 weeks of this. You're gonna get an episode. The spaces in between. You're gonna get all the episodes in between. So more podcasts if you're a big fan, and plus exclusive stand-up videos and exclusive stuff of me playing music, and exclusive, just more interactive, exclusive video stuff of me being encouraging and reaching out to you guys. So have a good night. Take care of your headache. Holy shit. It's coming back. Recency effect works for headaches too. I lost the headache in the middle there, and now it's come back. So have a good time, and bye, and drink water. Okay. Okay. Uh-huh. Bye.